Anin Bojo, Ogama Namanagojing Guayakasid. Good morning, good day, everybody. We're here downtown Baawaating on our virtual tour, and I just wanted to accentuate a point in regards to governance. Behind me here, you'll see the area where the ferry used to cross, which was a prominent area for us in our exercise of our international relations with other tribes and other First Nations on the waterfront here in Sault Ste. Marie. I wanted to make mention of each individual First Nation having some inherent obligation that would look a little different than from a neighboring First Nation. Every First Nation is different. Every First Nation has inherent authority. Every First Nation has the right to enter into international agreements. There are prominent relationships that were struck through treaties historically, including the 1850 Robinson-Huron Treaty, which the elders tell me was actually 17 First Nations that entered into the treaty relationship, and each one of those clauses that make up the Robinson Treaty can be interpreted as its own treaty. Those are treaties that are entered into by the leader of that particular First Nation. So today, within our governance systems that we've adopted to help us fulfill our original obligations, we've created structures that have limited mandate, have limited voice, that represent us, and on the most part it's the chiefs that represent the collective voice today. We've created structures like the Association of Iroquois and Allied Indians, the Union of Ontario Indians, the Chiefs of Ontario organization, the AFN, and all of those organizations are always being reviewed to determine whether or not they're meeting our needs, and to whether or not we need to maybe evolve with their mandate, evolve with the organizations, even developing new organizations like we've developed the North Shore Tribal Council, which is another body that helps us achieve the wellness and meet the needs of our people. So Baawaating, Garden River, the local Indigenous people are a part of a lot of these Indigenous organizations, and we have somewhat of a governance system in place to better meet our needs. We have to remember that the relationship that we have with the settlers, with the new people to our lands, is based on peace, friendship, and sharing. And what we have as expectations as a people around our relationship is based on that. I think it's important for everybody to remember that the Indigenous people are not a burden on taxpayers. We had 100% of this economy. We had the fishery, we had the mining, we looked after everything in our environment. And not very long ago, we agreed to share that with the new people to our lands. As long as we were able to maintain our existing quality of life, we had 100% of the resources. We were able to live a very long life in harmony with creation. We compromised that. We gave up a big portion of our jurisdiction, and we shared. So we paid a big tax when we promised to share the resources, to share the lands, in exchange for different returns to our people. And today our people still share at least 50% of our resources. In addition, we're now expected to pay taxes to mainstream, which is contrary to the original relationship. We paid the biggest tax when we promised to share the lands and resources. So you'll find that Indigenous people today are continually pursuing the norms of society and work with the new governments to be able to accomplish the expectations that we had when we entered into those relationships, which was true sharing. So we today don't expect to be paying taxes because we paid the biggest tax already. When we pay taxes today, we're paying double tax. We gave up half of our economy back in the day, and that affected our people today, and now we're expected to pay taxes again. So you'll find our people are really challenging and are really asserting those reserved rights that we had and we still have today, that we were promised as a result of the agreements with the new people to our lands who promised to share and maintain our quality of life. So this particular area is that center of governance where we are today. The people that lived around the Great Lakes, the Indigenous people, lived in this area and met in this area and had spiritual gatherings, governance gatherings, clan gatherings, feasted together, and we managed all of the Great Lakes. That's our inheritance. That's what we're in the habit of doing. Miigwech.